Hello every single one of you and welcome in today's video. In today's video I'm going to show you one of the best heat maps that you can use for buying and selling Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and I'm going to show you exactly how this heat map works and how you can use it for your trading. So guys, let's jump straight into it. And let's start off with what is a heat map. Guys, a heat map is basically a visualization from data onto the chart in based of a color, something as you can see right here. Most of you guys are known with the liquidation heat map. I've made a separate tutorial about this. If you are interested in that, make sure to check out that video, also very interesting. But I guess the heat map that we are looking at right here right now is even more interesting, especially so if you want to know the direction where Bitcoin most likely is going to. So guys, let's have a look at this heat map. This heat map is from Whaleportal.com. If you go to Whaleportal.com, you can click right here on Pro. It will bring you to the Pro charts. Then you click right here on Overlays and you can add the heat map to the chart. And what this heat map basically does is it shows either a red area above the candle, which represents selling pressure, or it shows a green area below the candle, which represents buying pressure. And guys, this selling and buying pressure is completely based on live exchange data. So when all the traders are logging into the exchange and they open long positions, they open short positions, they do that on spot or they do that with leverage, all that data combined in a formula is basically what is printing these colors on this chart. So let's have a look into this. And first of all, we can see already like we shouldn't take it direct. Yeah, sometimes we can actually also take it directly, but this is a very good indicator for whenever Bitcoin is ranging a little bit sideways, it's getting congested, the market is building up towards a big move. Then it's very good to look at this chart, because then you will most likely know in which direction that move is going to go. So let's start with this. Very early on, or actually very early on, 2022, we have all this buying pressure coming here, right? We have this buying pressure coming here. Bitcoin is just moving sideways, right? We see a little bit selling pressure, so that is not very intense red, as you can see right here. Now it's just slightly red, but you can see we really build up during this momentum. And actually, if you would look at this chart like it, you can already know, okay, the direction most likely will be an explosive move to the upside. Here we have sideways range with a lot of red, move to the downside, right? Until we have green, move to the upside. Reds get a little bit more intense because things are getting a little bit more selling pressure right here. Price moves down. Right, so here we can also see we have generally the red is getting more intense, and the more intense the red goes, the higher the likelihood basically is that Bitcoin is going to see lower levels. Here we can also see a very long period of red, and the price eventually goes down until we have a period of green, which is like basically boiling up this buying pressure, and eventually after the sideways range we just shoot up. Then if we zoom into this price action right here, it can be a bit confusing, because we can see, yes, we do see some intense red right here, but price goes up. Yes, that's what sometimes happens in the bull market. Markets can stay irrational, which basically means that even though we are seeing very much people longing and the signals are basically not that bullish, price can still go up. But if you would zoom into the 4-hour time frame right here, you can already see that here we have high intensity red, as you can see, but that intensity is decreasing. And it is decreasing right here before we are seeing the breakout. So you got to see this as like a pressure that is pushing down on the price, but that pressure is getting lower. the pressure is getting lower with the intensity also getting lower, and that's why the price can shoot up and go above. So here we have also beautiful, this example I really like, guys, because here we can see also Bitcoin actually moving sideways while the intensity of the red is actually getting more and more intense. So it's moving sideways, more and more intense. Then we have here a very intense dot basically, and you can see this is followed by a big move to the downside. Right, so you can use this basically for short-term trading. You can also go, for example, into the 5-minute time frame, scroll a bit out and have a look like what's going on. Okay, we have high intensity. Most likely we go a little bit down. Here we have, for a good example of high intensity, maybe let's go to the 15 minutes. So we can zoom a little bit out right here. So you get a little bit of better picture. Right here we get high intensity, price goes down, and then the intensity you can already see is getting less, and we want to see a low intensity red for the price to potentially go up, or we want to see a high intensity red for the price to come down, or we want to see it become green. So that is just basically how this works. Here we can also see high intensity for some time is getting lower, then we have a big shoot up. The intensity is getting higher again, and then we drop. Intensity is still high, we continue to drop until the intensity is lowering, and then we go back up, right? Then we have high intensity, and eventually the move is to the downside. So you got to be careful a little bit with how you are going to use this indicator. For me personally, I think one of the most effective ways to use this indicator is really to look at broad market movements. So for example, long sideways range with buying pressure. Okay, most likely price is going to go up. We see the red intensity increase, could be close to a top, right? This was very beautiful because a lot of people were expecting basically here that the price were to continue to go down. This was actually showing the opposite, and then eventually prices went up, right? So if you have this information already and you go on the internet and you see, for example, right here, where you see, for example, wow, a lot of people are actually bullish, right? They are actually bullish on the price. But then you can already see, but we are seeing a lot of selling pressure. So all of these bulls, which most people are right now, most likely are the wrong side of the equation. Here's the same. Everyone is bearish, but we can see already, buying pressure is building up. Right, this one is more beautiful because this one went from lower intensity red during this range into a higher intensity red. That's like, okay, that's something, the sell pressure is increasing while the price slightly comes down. Yes, it really makes sense for this one to come down. It won't always be a super clear situation. So for example, right now, we can see we had a lot of selling pressure right here that decreased, price to shoot up. We saw a lot of selling pressure right here as well. Price eventually went down. We are seeing a decrease in selling pressure because we do see the intensity in red decreasing. However, it's also important to note that we had very high intensity right here. So that means we haven't really got a market reset. We can see the intensity going lower, which means the price shorter term time frame can still bounce. But it does mean that the upwards potential from this move is actually quite limited, most likely, and that we first want to see a period of this again, where the red is going to be very low intense, and we are going to see some more green, some more buying pressure building up, right? And then preferably we would like to see, when you go online again and you go to you look at the social sentiment, you would like to see that a lot of people expecting a continuational move to the downside, right? That this one comes down a little bit, buying pressure is increasing, but most people, they are very fearful. They think that the price will come down because those are the same people that are going to buy Bitcoin whenever it is turning around. So that is also how I look at the market mechanics, right? If you have a lot of sellers in the markets, all of these sellers can become potential buyers, right? If everyone already bought, they can all become potential sellers, which can drive the price down. So that's how you got to look at this as well. So for example, right here, everyone was bearish. People were screaming Bitcoin going to 12K while it was trading at 16,000 US dollars. But you can already see right here, the momentum is building up. We got a lot of green, and the red is very low intensity. So yes, most likely from this range we shoot up. Most likely from this range we shoot down. this range might be a little bit questionable, but therefore, of course, we have other indicators that you can use. That's why it's so important, never rely on one indicator, right? This is just one heat map, which is one of the many indicators that you can have right here on whaleportal.com. But this was doubtful because we get low intensity red and we do get green dots, which is nice. But yeah, we're not that clear as this one. Or not that clear as this one. Sideways, intensity red increasing. So we get like we are being pushed into a range, which eventually is building up tension, and then it's got to choose a direction. It's going to go up or down, right? If you look at this data point, you can see, okay, it's down. If you look at these data points, it's very clearly it's up. If you look at these data points, it's down until we decrease and break out, it's up. These data points, it's down. So as you guys know, it's not exact one-to-one science. You gotta learn to interpret this data as well, even though it can work in a short-term time frame as well. So here you can see often around the green dots, we see price going up. So if we go for example to the 4-hour time frame and we have a look at that specific time period right here, then you can see that during the time period when Bitcoin was consolidating, even in the shorter term time frame, we get a zone of greens right here. What happens? Price goes up. Couple of zones of green, price goes up. Not that much, and we had a further jump later. So here you see the red already, intensity already a bit increasing. Bam, we go down. So here we get some green dots, we go up. Right, this one is very doubtful, was not a beautiful move. That was kind of a bad event. So like I said again, it won't be one-to-one always the same and always work with 100% guarantee. No, this is just to give you a grip on the markets. Yeah, a lot of green dots, price eventually goes up until it turns red, and then we come down again. Couple of green dots again, price goes up, green dot, price goes up. Couple of green dots right here, price goes up. Here a couple of green dots followed by higher intensity red, especially right here. Eventually price goes down. So yeah guys, this is how you can use this indicator. Make sure that you know on which time frame this are using, and especially I would recommend every single one of you to use this indicator with other indicators. So for example, you would like to have a look at the momentum waves because you want to have, for example, green dots when the momentum wave is very low, or when you have bullish divergences on the momentum wave. So here we get a green dot, very low momentum wave, then we have more potential to go up. If the momentum wave is already high, for example on the 4-hour time frame, and you get a bearish divergence but you get a green dot, the upside potential is limited. Right, so that is also important to note. Right here also, we got a nice green dot, momentum wave putting like a bullish divergence, and we shoot up from 27,270 to 30,000. So that is more than a 2.5k move. That's a big move. If you would trade that with leverage, those are beautiful moves. Like this one is also beautiful, right? We have this all these green dots coming here at this point. And we have the momentum wave coming very low and then coming up. So this is again a very beautiful moment to open a long position. We get confirmation with the momentum indicator and the green dots. Here we have a beautiful opposite. We have very high intensity red. We have bearish divergence on the momentum waves. And then we can see, yeah, the price eventually comes down until the intensity slows down and it flips to green. And then we can see again that we go up. So, and here you can also see in the shorter term time frame, high intensity, price goes down. Here we get higher intensity, price goes down. Here, high intensity, price goes down. Until the price goes down, the intensity slightly gets lower. And there's a little bit more room for price to go up. So, yeah, guys, this is basically how you can use this heat map. I personally think this is one of the best heat maps that you can use out there. Why? Because this visualizes the most important data. A lot of people, they look at the data and they basically just don't know what to do. They don't know how to interpret the data, and this makes it very visual. So you can have a very visual representation on what's happening on the derivatives exchanges like Bybit or Binance, where the real action happens. So not only an indicator that is calculating based on the candles of the price, of the structure, but really the backbone of the trading, which is the derivatives market, right? That's the backbone of the price, at least in the swings, where you can see what's actually going on. I think this is very important. So yeah, guys, if you want to use this indicator, you can do that over on whaleportal.com/pro. It will bring you to this page. Like I said, you can go to the overlay, put on the heat map, and yeah, you can play with other indicators if you are interested in that as well. This is definitely one of the best sites where you can get these kind of data, which is very perfect for short, mid, and long-term trading. Guys, if you learned anything from this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. That's very much appreciated. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. If you want to know more about other heat maps like liquidation heat maps, you can check my other tutorial. And if you haven't seen my Bybit tutorials, make sure to check out those, as they are bringing a lot of value to the table for free to you, especially on how to save money on fees, how to do copy trading, and many more options that are all possible on Bybit. Check that out, guys, and I will see every single one of you in the next video.